everything about this car is a symphony. And I've never really spent much time in a Porsche. Yeah.
It's time to start.
It's time to start.
It's a Porsche. Hello.
Hi, I'm Pat, and welcome back to the channel. Hey, we got Susan with us from Chasing the Apex.
Hi.
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing well.
This is awesome.
Isn't it?
I'm loving it. Yeah.
Hey, I'm loving California.
Great time.
I am really loving California.
So glad you're here.
And an opportunity to be able to just enjoy Jay's GT4.
Yes.
So big thanks to Jay from Chasing the Apex. Of course, if you haven't seen Jay, you probably have. Link in the description. He and I did a couple Zoom interviews. He's a great guy. And for him to give me this car, and of course for Susan to come out as well, I mean, this is such a delight. This is such a treat. So we're going to take this car through the twisties here in California. We're going to give you my perspective of the car and see exactly how I feel about it. I may have a GT4 in my future. I don't know.
I think you do. I definitely think you do. It's a red one though.
Ah, Guards Red is definitely one of my favorite colors.
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. So this car, I actually did get an opportunity to ride in it yesterday, and there'll be a video for that, link in the description below. But this is my opportunity to really take it out in the twisties and then turn it over to Susan so then she can have an opportunity to drive the car.
Yeah.
So really getting a feel for this. It's cold this morning. It's 47 degrees here in Northern California. I know California, everybody thinks it's so warm because, you know, I'm from the East Coast. I always think, oh, California is going to be a great place. Northern California, totally different.
Yeah.
In fact, what I love about Northern California is the mountains that I'm in and the cool temperatures. Yeah, I could stand sunny days, warm sunny days all the time, but no, I actually do enjoy this. This is going to be an awesome ride. So having an opportunity to hit the twisties with this car is a chance to really push it to see what it can do. And I'm not going to push the car to the extremes. I'm only going to push it to how comfortable I am. But having driven an i8 as well as the Acura NSX in a lot of twisty roads back east, it did give me an opportunity to play and learn what the car can do in the turns. But this car, being that it's a completely different beast, and I've never really spent much time in a Porsche, yeah.
It's time to start.
It's time to start. Now, I haven't driven manual transmission in a long time. In fact,
Can't tell.
Well, I appreciate that. To me, this car feels so easy to drive because I learned on a manual transmission, and after I had played a lot with both my C3 and my C5 Corvette with manual, I loved it, I enjoyed it, but sitting in traffic was horrendous.
Yeah.
So at that point I said, no more.
Yeah.
I'm going to drive automatics, I'm going to drive dual clutch, but having an opportunity to drive this, I mean, the clutch, even though Jay told me, this is a race clutch, this is heavy, this doesn't feel heavy to me.
No.
This reminds me of the Ford Escort that I first learned how to drive stick on, to be honest with you, and I told him that. And I said, dude, this thing is, yeah, it's nice.
Expect a Ford Escort.
No.
Funny.
Yep.
What year was that?
My first Ford Escort that I owned was in 1989.
Okay.
What was your first car?
Well, I had a diesel truck first.
Nice.
Yeah. Because it was safer. And then my dad got a little crazy. And I was, 16 or 17, and I had an 86 Camaro, 5-speed, 8-cylinder, and I had no business having that car.
At that age, yeah?
No.
Yeah?
But it was it taught me a lot. I loved driving that car. It was really fun. It had the T-tops. I was so cool. Yeah, it was great. It was the same color as the Porsche. It was great blue. Yeah, it was beautiful. It was really fun. This is responding really well.
I wanted to get your opinion from the passenger seat because I know it can feel a little bit awkward going along for the ride. You know?
Right. No, this is really good. I can feel it. I guess grip, but hunker down in the turns, and as soon as you touch the shifter, it's immediate. Like, there's no delay.
Yeah. Yeah, I am.
And I feel very secure. I'm not thrashing around like I was in the Alpha.
Okay. Yeah, so there's a video that Susan had done with Jay of the Alfa Romeo 4C. I love that car too. Definitely check that out. There'll be a link in the description for that car as well.
This just sounds amazing. I love how it sounds.
I had to press the exhaust button just to open it up.
Oh, yeah. Great. So these are the blind turns.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't expect many people to be out this morning, but we've already seen a few.
Yep.
It's a good time to drive.
So the few turns that I've been in so far, the car just feels so freaking nimble to me. It's spot on. There's no roll.
No roll. I can sense that too. I'm glad you said that.
And the feedback in the steering wheel is good as well. And having driven, for the most part, all-wheel drive cars, it's different. The feedback that you get in the i8, I know you've driven the i8 before.
Yep.
It really isn't there. It's an electronically assisted front axle, so you really don't have the feel that you get in a car that doesn't have that. I mean, the feedback here is like amazing. I know what's happening with the geometry of the front end. I know if I'm pushing my limits a little bit too much and I'm pushing in the turns, I'm gonna feel that. That's the kind of feedback that I didn't expect when I first drove this car. This is awesome.
I love that you're saying that. I can't wait to try that to feel it. But I remember exactly what you're talking about with the i8 and the electronic feel.
Yeah.
You know, it was more like it was driving us.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
what was your overall opinion of the i8? And good or bad is good?
Yeah, it was fun. It was a really fun car. I think I drove it a little too aggressively because it was so smooth. I didn't know that I was going as fast as I was. It was really, really responsive. I just missed that it was a manual.
Right.
I love manual. I'll sit in traffic with a manual because it's a manual. So that's my favorite thing about any car, which is kind of silly, but it's what I like. It's fun.
I don't think it's silly.
It's active driving.
Yeah.
You know, and it doesn't matter if it's not as efficient and not as fast. It's okay with me. It's more about my connection with the car.
That's awesome. And as a driver, as somebody who wants that connection, that's really the only way to get that.
Right.
You know?
Right.
I do miss that part about a manual, and after driving this car, the wheels are spinning.
Are you thinking?
Yeah.
You should.
Yeah, I love the look of the GT4. In fact, a friend of mine back home has one in red, and of course my favorite color is red, so I'm like, oh, I would love to have your car. Oh, this is so beautiful. Sun's coming up through the trees.
Yes.
Oh, love it.
We're waking up all the neighbors. This is a very popular road for motorcyclists too.
Ah, okay.
And all the bike guys.
And that makes perfect sense,
Whoa.
as they want to enjoy the road.
Yeah, it's really, really good for them too. We have to be careful. At least we don't need a helmet.
No.
Ooh, there's that sun.
Man, what a pleasure. Jay, I thank you big time, buddy.
Awesome, Jason. Thanks.
Oh. You know you're in a capable car when you hit the turns like this. In fact, I'm very curious when I get back home and I start driving the NSX again, how exactly that's going to feel. Now, I don't have these kind of mountain roads close to me, but I do have some twisty sections in the back country where I'm at that I can get back to feeling what it's like. And with the dual clutch, things are so rapid.
Right.
You have the paddle shifters, everything's there. It feels like a manual transmission because honestly it is. It just has a dual clutch pack attached to it. So the shifts are instantaneous, but it's still missing the rawness that this car has.
Rawness.
And, oh,
I like that.
I love it.
Raw. It is really not, like, I can see that I can feel what you're doing, but it's not uncomfortable as a passenger. It's great.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's actually really fun. It's very secure. I think I said that before,
I think you're describing it very well. You're locked in, too, with these seats.
Yep.
These carbon buckets. Oh, I've never experienced this before, but, you know, you're not moving anywhere.
No, not at all.
It's almost like strapping myself into an airplane, being a pilot, into a plane that has non-movable seats where you got to move the rudder pedals to you, and those seats are secure. You're not going anywhere.
No.
Wow. This is one intense road.
Oh, see, this is intense for you?
For me, from back east, yeah. We don't get this kind of driving back east.
Oh. It's easy for me to say from this standpoint. So maybe on the way back it will feel different.
Yes. Oh, love that exhaust. The automatic blip coming into second gear. Music to my ears. We do have a car in front of us, so
Yeah.
I might let him gain a little bit more.
It's telling us to slow down.
Yeah, a little work zone here. I'll give him some distance too. So far, I think I want a GT4 of my own. I really do. This is insane. I really, really like this.
Porsche has always been my dream car.
Really?
And then the first real driving that I did in a supercar, I don't know if you even call it the supercar, was the Evora.
Oh, yeah.
And I fell in love. Like, I was so smitten with that car.
Really?
Yeah. It was, but I think it was just because I had never driven anything like that.
Okay.
And it could have been, you could have put me in any other supercar and I would have felt the same way. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It was just the experience of having done it and having, just feeling the car respond to what I was telling it to do. It was so great. And I expect that to be the case in Porsche.
I think, yeah.
Because
I think you will be happy with this.
it's my dream, yeah.
I had an opportunity to test drive an Evora 400.
Okay.
And I didn't really and Jay even told me, he says, you didn't really have an opportunity to really have, I only took it for a short test drive. I was going to buy it. I was thinking of buying it. But yeah, to me, it felt slower than the i8 because the torque was lower.
Yep.
And that killed me. I'm like, nope, if I'm going to buy a better car than the i8, I am not going to get an Evora. But for the purpose of taking it out, like roads like this would have been perfect.
Right. It was perfect on roads like this.
Such a fun little car. Oh, I love it.
You have to get one now.
That's the problem. Things like this get addictive to me because I feel it. But the problem was I will be on the East Coast trying to drive this, trying to assimilate what I've experienced here to back home, and I'll be like, oh no, I need to come back with the car.
I have an idea. Why don't you buy one of these to keep out here?
Oh.
And then just visit it.
That would be okay. I think I might be able to pull that off.
Yeah.
I think that might be the way to go.
I can keep it for you.
Deal.
Okay. I'll just exercise it once a week,
That's fine. It's going to need it. Got to keep all the seals lubricated, so I am okay with that.
Yeah.
So right now, just a straight stretch. The car's comfortable. I could probably ride in this car for a few hours. The seats aren't exactly what I would want to take on a long road trip, even though Jay would say, I'm comfortable, let's go,
No.
But for me, I feel need a little bit more lumbar support. But you can't get that in the carbon buckets, and that's fine. It's still doable. But driving on a straight path, it's gonna steer straight. It's gonna feel okay. It is a little bit more noisy in the cabin than I expected, and I think coming from the NSX, which is more refined, especially since it can be both a supercar and a tourer, especially what mode you're in. Yeah, it definitely gives me the feel that, you know, I could set that in touring and feel a little bit more comfortable. But it's not designed to do what this does. It's trying to be very well rounded as a supercar that can handle well in the turns, that can do great at the track, and you could daily drive the thing, and you could go on a road trip with it. So, you know, this is more specially built, I believe, to do what we're doing today.
Right.
Which is
drive it.
Yeah, it's freaking awesome. It's definitely a driver's car.
Yeah. I'm comfortable in the seat though. I feel like I could be here for hours too. So.
Okay, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I thought that the i8 was more comfortable than my NSX too. Like the i8 was the ultimate for me road trip car, and I know you guys mentioned that in your video as well, that you could easily just take that car and drive to Colorado in it.
Easy. Yeah.
So I did 2 6-hour road trips in my i8 when I had it. 6 hours back, 6 hours out, 6 hours back.
Wow.
It was great. Especially having the back seats so that I could put luggage and stuff in. Yeah, you had the comfort, you had, you know, the room to put things, you had the fuel economy. Like, it was generally an overall good car. It just felt like it was too expensive for the amount of power that you got from it. And
oh, interesting.
Yeah, I felt it could have had a little bit more power.
Oh, you thought it could have more power. Oh.
Over 100 mile an hour especially. Yeah. So in these types of things, I would love to drive that car. I think it would be great. The torque vectoring was awesome in it. Would handle so well. Would actually feel like a much lighter car than it was. But yeah, over time, when you want to try to keep up with all the fancy supercars especially in the Northern Virginia area, it became to the point where if we're going over 100, we're playing around, I'm not going to be able to keep up. There's just no horsepower for that.
Wow.
So the low end torque was right up to 100, but after 100,
that surprises me.
Mm-hmm.
I love torque, actually. I really like it. I was thinking about what you were saying about it being kind of noisy in the cabin. That's one of the things I like. And one of the things I missed about the i8, it's electric. It's not, it doesn't have that growl. And there's something very visceral about the growling car. And when you shift and it responds, and it responds verbally in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
That's awesome.
So, yeah.
It is an awesome feel.
Like to hear.
I miss that.
Hearing it is definitely part of the experience. It's not just feeling and seeing. It's hearing too.
Mm-hmm.
Love it. Oh.
So let's see how the GT4 does on a 1-lane construction road. That handles pretty well here. We got the cattle guards up on one side and a nice drop off into what should have been some type of a river, but dried up.
Yeah.
So this car will auto blip for you. So when you downshift, it will auto blip until you turn sport off, and then you can do it yourself. So the interesting thing about that is, yesterday when I was driving, I'm blipping it, and it's blipping higher than I thought it would. And I'm like, I'm really not pushing it that hard. Why is it doing that? And he told me, he said, yeah, when you're in sport, it will auto blip for you. And I turned it off, and I was, driving it like I would normally drive it. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. But there seems to be, since it really knows what RPM I want to be in order to rev match, I'll leave it on today just to see what I think of it more when I do leave sport on. But when you get to drive it back, you'll get to figure out at that point whether you want to mess with that or you want to do...
I probably don't.
Yeah. So what's your favorite car, Susan? What's your favorite?
That I've driven or that...
Any.
Oh, man. So many. I don't know that I have. I'd have to go Porsche first. The first Porsche I ever was in was I think a 1970 911. It was Kelly green, and my parents would take us up to Tahoe, so we were in Twisty Bits in that little car, and I was about 3. So
okay,
it was a great car, and I remember that Porsche smell, and it's still. So yeah, that's my favorite. But
okay,
any of these supercars that I get to drive, I'm so lucky that I got to drive them.
Yeah,
I love the i8.
That's awesome.
Of course, the Evora.
Yep.
I haven't driven a McLaren yet. I had a chance, but I was busy with school.
Mm-hmm.
So McLaren is one I would like to drive.
I have yet to do that.
Yeah.
I have yet to drive a McLaren. Every now and then I get to do a car swap with somebody back home, and it's also equally cool to just experience anything different.
Where do you guys drive? So if you don't have roads like this, what kind of...
So there are some rural areas where we do have some twisties. It's definitely not a lot of blind corners where you can't see where you're going. But the Appalachian mountain ranges are there, but they don't have a lot of, because it's not as steep, you don't have a lot of turns like this. I think he's probably too, at this point he's ahead, so I can play a little bit.
A little bit.
I love to look at the mountains when the sun's coming up. I just love mountains.
In California, these aren't what we call mountains. Though, the Sierras are, but from your perspective, I can see how they would be.
Yeah.
They're fun to climb.
Even on these bumpy roads, this thing is like, I got you. I get that feeling that the car just has me, even though it's not taking over. It's not like it's a nanny system that's telling me that. It's just a feeling I get in this car. It's unreal. I don't know how to better explain it. I don't know if it's the feel of the Alcantara on both the shifter and on the wheel, or if it's just the hugging of the seat. There's something about this car that's telling me I got you, and because of that, it just feels comfortable. It feels. It feels like it's designed for me.
Oh.
It's a piece of me.
Best.
It's so cool.
That's the best. Yes, when it's an extension of you.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
The clutch is like butter.
Butter?
It's like butter.
Didn't he say it was hard clutch?
Yeah. I don't know what he's driving.
Clutch.
I don't know what he's driving if he thinks that's hard. I mean, my 1978 Corvette was hard. That was a manual clutch. That was not a hydraulic clutch. Yeah, that was hard. Gotta love the pops too. I love this because you get all the signs letting you know that this is a sharp corner, but it just doesn't feel like a sharp corner.
Is that the car or the corner?
The car.
It's the car.
Oh, it's the car. You know, it's marked for 30. I'm going in at 45, and I'm like, I know this car can do more, but it's only 55 degrees, and I don't trust the tires are warm enough to be able to push it beyond that.
Yeah.
Oh. So beautiful.
Great fun. Like kick-ass fun. Totally worth getting up early for.
I'm glad to hear it.
Yeah.
Everything about this car is a symphony.
Ooh.
The feel.
That's a good
the sound. Oh yeah. It's a symphony. It you don't want to turn the radio on.
No.
The radio would kill this experience.
Right, yeah.
All right, we're going to finish up this little last bit of road here, and then I get turned over to Susan, and I'm looking forward to seeing how she drives. She's a driver.
Like, I have a license, but...
You're a certified driver.
Yeah. I'm not sure that really qualifies. Where's the key?
Did I take the key out?
You have it.
Oh, darn it. Well, just come on, Susan, drive the car.
Okay, sure.
You need the
Look
key.
at that. Look at the key. How cool is that?
It looks like a little Porsche, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. It's a Porsche. Hello.
What you feeling?
Just the responsiveness, and like the car knows where I'm going before I do.
Yeah.
Maybe?
Yeah, totally.
Oh my gosh. This is magical. does not lack for excitement.
No.
It's fun.
Yes.
But I totally know what you mean by I've got you.
What do you like about the steering so far as you're driving it?
Oh man, it's pretty sensitive, but it's not squirrely. It's it's solid. Like if I just make a little adjustment, it goes where I want, but it doesn't have any play. The Alpha was a little bit squirrely. Little bit. It was a lot bit squirrely. It was more of a fight. There's no fighting with this steering. Oh, this is good. I like this car. What was that other one I said I liked the best?
Yeah, all of a sudden now we can't remember what we like the best. Yeah. So I did ask you earlier, like, what's your favorite car?
What's your favorite?
Yeah. I think so far, I think that the GT4 is really making a big impression. I know it did on me.
It's so great. It's really grippy, and yeah, the steering is very solid. There's no lateral movement. Very little, like it sticks to the ground and doesn't throw you, like I said earlier, throw you around.
And even with the road being rougher back there, how did you think the car handled even on the rough road?
The same. I don't think there was any difference for the car. It handled just as well. It's not as comfortable, but that's not the car. That's the road.
Yep.
Yeah. It's that security that I mentioned earlier when I was in that seat. It just feels secure.
So what do you think of the braking so far?
Oh, the braking's great. I don't need it as much as I'm probably using it, but it's really responsive too. Like, I can't imagine that all the other... Sorry, I just want to go around this corner here. I can't imagine that the steering would be good and the gas would be good and the clutch is actually really nice. And then the braking would be terrible. So, it's good.
Point.
It's good.
Good point. All around, it's just generally a great driver's car, isn't it?
Really great. Yeah, it is. Yeah, good driver's car.
Now, I know you had the opportunity to sit in the passenger seat when I was driving earlier. And of course, the seat feels really good because you're locked in. It feels like you're secure.
Yeah.
How does it feel when you also have your hands on the wheel and you're in command?
Amazing. It feels like an extension. It's just doing what I want, but I feel like the car has intuition. I know it doesn't, but it's great.
All right.
Okay.
Going through the construction zone. You'll have to give the construction zone review from your perspective.
Okay. Well, thankfully there's not much gravel in this construction zone, but they have the, what do they call that? K-wall. And the cattle guard, as you said, and very grooved pavement, which is kind of nice. It's smooth. Yeah, that was really good. Great construction, California. Good job. You're welcome, as a taxpayer. It truly has been like a dream car my whole life. I love this. And now I know why.
It's such a cool part of the road.
Wow.
Yeah.
So fun.
Yeah. because you don't have to speed through them to really enjoy them.
No.
It's the perfect car for that.
Yeah. Gosh. You can still feel all of the... Oh, man. Love it. Speechless. I guess I'm speechless.
It's hard to come up with what you're feeling when you're in that moment. It is so hard to think about it because it just feels so good to drive this car. Oh, this is a nice stretch of road through here too. So beautiful. Yeah.
Okay, so the brakes are really good. So you were asking earlier, now I've had a chance to really play with them.
Yeah, this downhill stretch, because I get to drive uphill, but this downhill stretch, you're going to have to play with those brakes more often, so now you get to play with them.
I don't need very much. It's a tiny bit.
Yeah, Porsche did a great job with this.
So good. Yeah. This is not a tiny car, as I was saying earlier, but it doesn't. I thought it was going to feel a lot bigger while I was driving it, but it doesn't. This is not relaxing, but that's what makes it fun.
Yeah.
I don't want it to be relaxing. If I wanted that, I'd be in my own car. Oh my gosh, I can't. It's so fun, though.
Yes.
So fun.
Yes. Well, I really enjoyed, as a passenger,
Yeah.
being along for that.
That was okay?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Oh, yeah. You have a lot of driving confidence, a lot more than I think you have. I think you know you have. Yeah. Yeah. With Jay, it was on the edge yesterday. With you, it's like, oh, this is a great country drive. We're having a good time. And you went into the turn so nicely and smooth.
Love it. Yeah. The car made it easy.
Yeah, the car gives you a lot of confidence in those areas. Right. Totally. But yeah, just riding along, no problems at all. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the scenery. I enjoyed being taken through those turns. I didn't have to hold on to anything. I was like,
oh, that's good.
Got it.
Well, I was slow.
No, you still felt like there were enough G's coming through those turns. It didn't feel slow. Okay,
so what I really love about this car, the more I think about it, it's really true. I don't have to go fast to get that excitement. I just have to do something. Like, it's so responsive. And that sounds so cliche. But it listens. You know, I love hearing the sound. Like I said, it's a full sensory experience. But I love that it doesn't, I don't have to get it going fast like I did with some other cars to really know that I was driving a car, you know, a driver's car.